What up, John? How
Wh-
you doing, bro?
What's up, Los? How you doing, man? Salute to you. Thank you for having me on the podcast. I appreciate it, man.
Problem, bro.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I yeah, I'm excited as well. We've been trying to make this happen for a while. It's got it got crazy because I got sick.
Yeah,
I know you did too. I don't know, man. There's something going around, bro.
something
You know,
going around, bro.
I feel like a lot of people lately have gotten sick, and most of the time, people think it's COVID. I thought it was COVID, but I mean, I had COVID once, and
Yeah,
I was able to beat it.
that's scary, right?
But
It's almost like there's no such thing as a common cold anymore, right? Or just a regular
yeah,
flu,
yeah, you're right.
you
Not
know?
a flu, it's just COVID comes. It's like, that's what I heard him say before. COVID was like the new flu,
Right?
you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, did you get COVID?
I don't think I never got tested. Uh, I had like a upper respiratory thing, but I was doing some demolition at the time for chop block.
Oh, okay.
So it could just been like the 100-year-old mold or whatever from those buildings. Those buildings are like really old.
Mm,
And
yeah,
I couldn't
sounds
tell if it
crazy.
was just like I never lost my sense of smell or taste or anything like that. Like I didn't get the
Yeah.
severe symptoms, but I just had like what was like an upper respiratory kind of thing. So
Yeah, man, they say that mold could kill you. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So it was wild, wild times, man. Like I couldn't go anywhere and cough like without people looking at me, and especially being
Right?
Asian at the time too, and everybody was like, "Yeah, they
Yeah.
I'm already suspect." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm already
Man,
suspect.
people
You know?
no, you're right. It's I was just about to say that that in New York there was a lot of people Asian people going through it, man, and it's
Mhm.
fucked up, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't just take out your anger
Right.
on a whole fucking race, man. Like one Spanish dude fucks you over, and now you don't
Mhm.
want to fuck with you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You want to go around.
yeah.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, it was definitely tough times
That's
to get
just
through.
it's just ignorance. You know what I mean? Like that's all it is. You gotta if you're not exposed to certain things and you don't know, you're not used to things, then that's where that fear and that hate stems from. You know what I mean? So when I
Yeah.
when I meet people on the street or and people start asking me like questions about my nationality or whatever, and it gets repetitive. It gets a little bit annoying sometimes, but I look at it as like an opportunity to teach people about my culture,
Mm-hmm.
to let them learn,
Yeah.
especially being here in Northeast Georgia, man, where people aren't used to seeing it. For a while it wasn't very diverse. A lot of that's
Mm.
changing now. A lot of that's changing now, and people feeling a certain type of way about it or whatever. But change is inevitable, and if you
Mm.
embrace change, it could be for the better. You know what I'm saying?
How long have you lived here in Georgia?
Um, live here most of my life, like Northeast Georgia. Um, I moved to the inner city to go to college and stuff like that. I lived in like Alpharetta, Metro Atlanta area.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, I was in Marietta for a little while, like next to there's this big old school KFC that's got this huge chicken, and so it's a
Oh,
landmark down there.
really?
Everybody call it the Big Chicken. So I live
Oh,
like
hell yeah.
right down the street from the Big Chicken. If anybody know, all my Marietta folks.
Yeah, Marietta, that's pretty deep from here. I used to work at in Alpharetta,
Oh yeah, yeah,
exit 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 12 off the 400,
yep, yep. Yeah,
and worked there for 7 years, traveled, man,
yeah. It's
you
it's
know.
it surprised me how much that area changed when I was there, like late nines and the 2000s. It was like
Oh, it's
it was
probably dead, right?
it was nothing, bro. It was like woods. They like exit 12, exit 11. There wasn't even anything out there, and
Oh,
like it's
shoot.
just woods and a couple like industrial parks or whatever. Now there's businesses, there's everything growing in there. Like I watched that whole town grow and it's just part of the thing, you know what I mean? Like I seen Alpharetta grow. I moved to Charlotte when it was growing, when it was getting, I guess, gentrified, you would say, you know,
Yeah.
like when new businesses were coming in, taking stuff over or whatever. But I learned from Charlotte, like living in Charlotte, they were able to kind of like uh keep their own essence, keep their own like, you know what I mean, like quality. Like there were certain places in Charlotte that were like unique to Charlotte, you know what I'm saying? And
Okay. Hell yeah.
they were able to grow and adapt to those stuffs around it. I don't know about now, since I moved out, but like they would, you know, there were there were places that were like new and gentrified and had all the new jazzy stuff, but there were still like places that were Charlotte, Charlotte. So if you know, knew about Charlotte, you knew like the local scene, then there were places for you to go check out the local scene. And I thought that was really cool how they like adapted and were able to keep their own identity in spite of all the new changes and stuff. And that's kind of what motivated me to, you know, I took a chance, sold everything I had, moved from Charlotte back to Gainesville, and just dumped everything I had into a food truck biz because I saw that like, you know, Gainesville, that area in North Georgia is one of the fastest growing areas in the country, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've seen it too, man. I've never,
Yeah, it's blowing up.
I definitely want to get into the food truck thing, but I've never hung out, at the square till that day that I met you was actually the first time I ever went to the square,
Oh,
and
really?
I had a fucking blast, bro. Like, it sounds crazy to try to say when you have a podcast, but
Hmm.
I'm like probably like 70% introvert and like 30% extrovert,
Right.
and but I push myself to speak to people. I push myself to just go out there and just chit chat like I did with you. I met you that night randomly, bro. We just,
Yeah.
we kicked it off. We were talking with Loring in front of it was downtown
Downtown
drafts,
drafts.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and shoot, bro, it was fucking awesome. We went to the back, we smoked a joint, and I had a great
Oh, yeah.
time. That's where we
We talking
exchanged
about
numbers,
that
you
on
know.
the this no holds
Yeah,
barred channel right here.
yeah, fuck it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not, bro? Why not? I love it, man. And bro, that's one thing, you know, I do love about the square, and you know, I appreciate about you. Like I would never meet the type of people that you would meet, and you know, unless you go out, unless you start like just talking to people. And that's one of the things I love about the square, and I love about like just going out. I think a lot of the younger generation right now, they're so like behind this, you know, the screens and social media or whatever. And I think there's a lot of danger in that because, you know, you don't really get to see like interact with people. There's certain things that when you interact with somebody face to face, you get to see their mannerisms, you get to see, you know,
Mm-hmm.
their body language, their tone more, and like certain social cues that you miss out on if you're just communicating with people, you know, through digital devices. You know what I mean? Like you really get
Facts.
a chance to connect with people, and
Mm-hmm.
with today's media and stuff, I feel like, you know, there's so many different relationships that I've created just by going out and sitting at the bar and talking to people. You know, like if you were to listen to social media, maybe somebody like you and I would never get along. You know what I mean? Like according
Mm.
to social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like you and I are at the bar chilling, doing the same thing, having, you know, drinking a beer, having conversations. Like I've been through it, like Trump supporters, like, you know, down home country dudes, he just like
Yeah,
all
different
walks of
types of
life.
people.
Yeah, all walks of life. And there's something to learn through all of those walks of life, you know? So
Yeah, it's true, man. I always tell people you can even learn, You can even learn from assholes, man. You can learn,
Yeah.
hey, I do not want to be like that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
fuck that, you know?
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, and it's uh now I have listeners obviously, you know, because I was born and raised in New York, so a lot of the listeners are from New York too. Can you explain to the people what the square is? Because I have a few questions about the square after that, but for the people when they heard the square, can you explain it to them what it is?
The square, I guess, to a person from New York, it would be kind of like a very, very miniature Times Square. You know, like every town, every city's got
Yeah,
like that square, right? And it's just our little town square, you know what I mean? Like it's the center of the city, it's the hub. It's been like that for a long time. You know, it's been like it's just it's just where everybody congregates, in the city. It's where the city was born. You know what I mean? It's like the epicenter. So it's a lot, very, very old school, very whatever, but things are changing now, and a lot of people are kind of like, they don't know how they feel about it. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Was the square always this spot that you can go and kick it at?
Um, Throughout,
Like drink, walk around with the drink, the
yeah,
drinks?
it's always been like open container as far as I can remember. So, like, meaning like you could just go from bar to bar with a beer as long as it's in a clear cup or whatever, and just walk around with beers in your hands. Different cities are like that, like Savannah is like that, but we're lucky enough to have it here, and I think that's one of the benefits to the square, right? But the thing about it is that it's like the old heads, the people who own all the buildings and things like that, they don't want have to deal with all the riffraff, and they don't want to like,
Mm,
all the drunks and stuff. So they've for a few years now they've been trying to like push all that out, you know.
really?
In the past there've been bars that popped up, 37 in Maine is no longer with us, but that was like party club atmosphere, and it was a certain
Okay.
route around the square. Like you would go get your dinner at like recess or whatever, then you'd head to like downtown drafts, grab a beer pregame,
Yeah.
and then eventually you'd make your way to 37, maybe Chop Block. Chop Block was a little thing there. And then you'd go down to Mule Camp. Mule Camp was like the Cheers of the whole town. It was like where everybody goes, last call if you were like a real alcoholic or just, you know what I mean, whatever, you
Yeah.
would go down there. But the cool thing about the Mule Camp was everybody knew if you were at the Mule Camp late night, you were just there to have a good time. So it's like I ain't gonna call
Mm,
you out, you ain't gonna call me out, and so you would find all these mix of people there just hanging out, having a good time, wanting to keep the party going or whatever. Like all the late night people, you know what I mean? So
nice.
that was kind of my crew for a while. That was kind of my thing. Yeah,
Yeah, when I first went to a square, we walked there. I previously passed the square a few times when my license used to be suspended. I got pulled over Whole County and I had to go to the courts by there, and I seen the little square. I was like, it's
yeah,
fucking it was fire, but my mind wasn't right to be hanging out at that time, just trying to fix it. You know,
yeah,
the courts are right there.
yeah.
But we crossed over the little bridge by Johnny's Pizza.
Hmm.
We started off there actually getting a beer. I'm from New York, man, so I was a bit. I mean, it's supposedly New York style pizza, but I don't know. It's just when I walked in there, I
Nah,
wasn't appetizing enough to try one.
at
And from
Johnny's,
what I heard, people, yeah,
nah.
I didn't. Oh man, I hate to say this, but I didn't even like the Atlas pizza.
Word.
No,
I was just
yeah,
about to tell you, Atlas is the one, but I can understand somebody from New York, you know what I mean? But that's kind of like the best that we have right here. So
yeah. And I'm
which?
sorry, Atlas, man.
Sorry, Vic. Sorry, Vic. Yeah, if you out
Yeah,
there.
but I heard dude, but I heard they're what is it, cheese sticks or cheese bread,
There,
something like that.
a lot of people
The
suggest that the Philly cheese pizza. So it's like,
The Philly cheese pizza.
yeah,
Maybe I gotta give it a second shot, man. Cause
yeah. Maybe,
I
hey, maybe there might be an episode, me and you, and go taste test, do a rating or
yeah,
something. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh, hey, hell yeah, bro. I would definitely love to do that. And I don't, I'm just very opinionated when it comes to my opinions. I like to say them whether I like it or not,
Hey,
But it doesn't mean like I would never go there again and be like, fuck it, yeah, let's go.
right, right.
My wife liked it.
Word, word. Yeah, man. Yeah, but yeah, I'm good friends with the owner, Vic. He's helped
Oh,
me
okay,
out
hell
through
yeah.
my journey. He's offered to, help me out with my food truck and stuff like that. So shout out to Vic, man. Like,
Oh,
good
shout
dude,
out to Vic, yes.
good dude. Yeah,
Damn. Hell yeah. So so like I was saying on that story, we crossed over the bridge after Johnny speaks up. We were supposed to eat there and I just didn't. We were supposed to grab dinner somewhere.
I don't blame you.
And we had some beers and I had some ultras and then after that we crossed over the bridge, and and the first place we went to was downtown Draft,
Yeah.
and my boy Daniel, shout out to Daniel, he he got the snake bite. You ever tried the snake bite?
Nah, nah,
Well, it looks it looks disgusting, but it tastes amazing.
really.
When we first went there, he tried it, and I was like, nah, I'll just get Ultra. I'm straight because it looks black. Is that beer? What's that beer called?
It's like a real dark, like Guinness.
Guinness.
Yeah,
It's Guinness. It's like the cup, right? And then the
yeah,
top is like Guinness, and then the bottom is like apple cider. So the black part is hanging,
yeah.
and it looks intimidating to be
Yeah.
honest.
See, I'm not a stout guy. I'm not a very stout guy. I'm not a sour guy either. I'm just regular plain Jane beer, bro. Like I'm
I
not.
mean, but have you ever tried? Have you ever tried the snake bite?
Nah, I haven't. I mean, I'm willing to do whatever, like try whatever out there, but
Yeah,
I'm typically I've tried Guinness before, like those heavy stouts, and I can
it
only
is a strong beer.
yeah, I can only do that. Like, only reason I don't like it is because I like to keep drinking. You know what I mean? Like, I like to just sip on it,
Okay.
whatever. And with a beer like that strong, that stout, it's like,
Yeah,
you know,
you'll
you,
be out quick.
yeah, you just had that one beer the whole night. Maybe a good thing. Maybe I should start drinking Guinness for my pockets. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, how do you call it? I tried it. I kept drinking ultras because I'm the same way as you. And then we worked our way down to Tap It. I went to Tap It and I went to the bathroom and then the fool goes, he ordered me a beer, he orders me a snake bite. And I was like, motherfucker, he paid for it and everything. I was like, I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah,
So then we proceeded to go upstairs and yo, that was pretty dope.
yeah,
They have like a little live like couch area,
yeah.
what I'm saying? You sit there at the rooftop and it looks really nice. And I tried the snake bite and I was like, whoa, dude, what the fuck is this? And it was getting late, so we decided to head back to downtown Draft. That was when I met you and I met Lauren
Word.
and her boyfriend and that's when my night ended. After that I left, but I went back. I think I went back the following day, bro.
Yeah,
You know, um, to talk about printing some T-shirts to somebody. I think it was at forgot where it was at, but yeah, man. And I told myself I'm taking my girl here, my wife here, whenever I go. When I did that, bro. Like that same week, I went there like 3 times.
yeah.
That's when I went to go try Atlas Pizza.
Right, right.
Had some beers. Bro, I had like 3 snake bites, and I felt like I drank like a 12 pack of Bud Light.
Yeah,
It was strong.
yeah. It's
It was
strong.
strong.
Oh, this.
What's your to go beer?
My to-go beer. I'm simple guy, man. I'm cheap, so like I'm Pabst Blue Ribbon. You know what I mean? Like just it's $2 usually everywhere you go. Um,
Nice.
if it it's just the cheapest beer that you can really get around here and socially acceptable. I think if you drink a
Socially
Pabst,
acceptable.
everybody's like, he's an okay dude. Like he's probably works hard for a living. You know what I mean? He deserves one. Like it's like people judge
What
you on your
about the Bud Light
drinks.
drinkers?
Yeah, people. Yeah, You know, people judge you on your drinks, you know, not that I really care,
They
but
do.
you know, like
Yeah.
whatever. So like Paps is a good like just baseline standard, you know. It's just basic.
Yeah, I think that's funny how people judge us on drinks. And I get shit for all the time for
Yeah.
loving Bud Light. They be like,
Yeah.
"What? You like Bud Light?" I mean like, "Yeah, motherfucker, I like it." The
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
You know, they all think I'm a Corona guy because I'm Spanish. And it's like, bro, I don't like Coronas. Them shits, I'll
Right.
drink them, but them shits give me a headache. You know, I
Right.
don't like them.
With Asians, the stereotype is like Heineken's usually. It's like Hennessy, Heineken,
Really?
Corona. Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And I can't stand Heineken.
Heineken's are strong. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's they
it's skunky to
nasty
me, bro.
beers.
I'm sorry. It's skunky to me, bro. You know what I mean? Like
It does.
it don't taste good to me. If if
Yeah, I
a
have an uncle likes them.
similar beer that I like better is Stella. I like Stella Artois.
Stella, oh, okay. Oh, have you tried if you like a Stella, then you like you ever try Peroni's?
Nah, nah.
Peroni's is a Italian drink. It's as strong as a Heineken. It don't taste like one, but
Oh,
it's really strong and they taste like the Stellas. So if you like Stellas, you're definitely like we gotta link up, man. And I'm my cousin's pizzeria over here in Napolis is in
oh,
Oakwood.
oh, okay. That's your cousin's
Yeah,
place?
yeah. Let's go one day, man. Let's have some fucking beers, eat
Yeah,
some fucking wings, pizza, chit chat, you know.
yeah. I'm all about it.
Um, yeah. Did you go to the Christmas parade?
I think I was there like later that night. Like I didn't even know about it. I just showed up. Like you're talking about the lighting of the big chicken.
The big chicken. Is it?
Well,
No, I think it was last Sunday.
yeah, I think it could be two different events, but we
Oh, they
have
probably did that
we
that day.
Gainesville was known as the chicken capital of the country for a while. Like we're our main export is poultry, right? So
Mm,
instead of a big Christmas tree that you light up, like Rockefeller Center's got the big Christmas tree.
yeah,
Like ours
big
is the
tree.
big chicken. So you guys got this
Oh
big
wait, where
chicken on
at?
top of the building. If you look at like where Corkit is on top of Corkit, there's a big chicken up
Cork it.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's lit up like
Oh no
yeah,
way.
right. Like I think right after Thanksgiving they light it up, and then I think a couple weeks after that they have the Christmas parade or whatever on the square. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, the Christmas parade was straight. We went to it last year, and then it didn't. We got there late,
Mhm.
so we told ourselves next year we're gonna plan it. We're gonna be there on time.
Yeah,
And bro, I had a blast, man. The community here, that's something I want to talk about. Um, it's there's it, the unification, you know what I'm saying, the way people greet each other. Bro, I was walking around with my little speaker playing Christmas music in my book bag. I had my battery pack, and bro, I was just the vibes was just so awesome from people,
right.
you know, and it's just crazy how packed it can get
Yeah,
because it was fucking packed.
that's
You
that's
know, it was
that's that Southern
yeah, it
hospitality,
was
baby. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah. That's why I tell people, man, the South finished educating me because bro, I go to New York and I still open the door for people. You know, I still, hey, wave at people. You know what I'm saying? And this is shit that I learned when I moved down here because New York is just, I hate to say it, man, but like we're known for being assholes, you know?
well,
Not everybody. I'm not an asshole,
it,
but
yeah, it's different, man. Different environment, and I think with New York, it's just so many different people, and stacked up
yeah,
on top of each other. Like I've
yeah, it's
been,
really diverse.
yeah, I've traveled there a couple times. Like I haven't really spent too much time in the city, just kind of like going back and forth, like but from what I seen, yeah, you got like how high story buildings, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah,
just that's stacks and stacks and stacks of people. You know what I mean? And then like
yeah.
people on the subways and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, to be in a city that big and to make it in a city that big, like you got to be on point and on your business, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you really ain't got the time to fool around with nobody. You just trying to get where you going, doing what you doing, you know what I mean? Like that's how I
Mm-hmm.
feel about it. So I don't, I don't take it out on the people from that area. You know what I mean? There's a reason for how
Time
people
flies
act.
over there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For in whatever certain area that they're coming from. So, I
Yeah, I agree. I still think they could be a little nicer though, but
don't.
it's just like what you no, what you're saying is right. It's just everybody's just it's funny because when you go to the city, you can tell with somebody like me. All right, I wasn't raised in the city. I was raised in Long Island,
Mhm.
but it's considered it's New York. But whenever we would go to a city, you could tell people that aren't from there
Yeah, he's
because they would
all
like
looking
sit down.
around, wandering. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
like this, bro. They're like,
Everything
what?
brand
And
new,
like,
right? Yeah.
and while they looked up, maybe like six, seven people passed them. They didn't even know. It's because people, like you saying, people was just everything's so fast paced. They're trying to get to their, they got their tunnel vision to their destination, and they go around people, and that's why I tell people time flies. When I go to New York, I know we all run the same time, obviously, but you could feel it like it fucking flies,
Hmm.
And just everybody, boom, everybody's doing shit, and it's like, damn, that's how I felt when I was over there. I felt
Yeah,
like everything was just so fast paced. When I moved down here,
yeah,
it gave me an opportunity to just take a breather, like sit back, relax, and just like, all right, enjoy my day, man.
yeah,
But anyways, let's get into the food truck, bro.
yeah,
I have several questions about that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
For the people that don't know, you have a food truck, that's called Wok and Roll,
Walk and
right?
roll, baby. I'll show you the logo right here. The I don't know. Is it backwards on
Nice.
the screen? Is it like reverse?
Nah, I could see it.
Oh, okay.
Nah, it looks straight.
All right.
Wok and Roll
But like,
with the little panda.
yeah, little panda. Hopefully, I won't get sued. So, funny story about the logo. So, my homie, right. So, he and I don't know if he wants me to share all the story, but whatever. I mean, we're gonna share. So I actually traded him a bag of weed to do my logo because I started with absolutely nothing. When I say I got it from the mud, like I got it from the mud. You know what I mean? Like I was trading
Mm,
services, doing stuff for other people to get the things that I needed to get the food truck going, and even the logo
nice.
is a thing about that. So originally I had, the lucky cats that you see at the Chinese restaurants, right? The little thing with,
Okay.
like maybe
Yeah, with the
yeah,
hands
with the little
down.
hand or whatever, right? So I originally designed a cat like that. And so homie was like, "Bro, for real, a cat?" And I was like, "What you mean, bro? Like what's wrong with the cat?" He was like, "Bro, you Asian and you selling food and you gonna have a cat walking around?" And I was like, "Damn, I didn't even think about it like that." You know what I mean? Like I didn't even,
I didn't even think you were going
yeah,
that
yeah.
direction either.
So he was like, I was like, damn. I was like, well, fuck. What am I gonna do? He was like, I got you, man. And he said, so he turned it into a panda bear with like the
Nice.
kitty cat face. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna say the band, or whatever. Hopefully, because I hear Gene Simmons is a beast about his shit. You know what I mean? Like copyrights
Uh-oh.
or whatever. But I just wanted it to be like Asian, Chinese, but walk and roll, you know what I mean? Like so that's where that came from. He turned it into a panda. And funny thing about this poster in particular, like I when I designed it, I had it all like symmetrical or whatever, right? And so when we went
Yeah.
to I forget where it was, like the UPS store to get it like blown up into the banner here, like the
Yeah.
girl, like I seen her when she was doing it. Like I used to do graphic design and I had some friends in graphic design. So it was like if you hold down shift and then like, you know, s- spread it out wide or whatever, it'll keep the same dimensions perfectly. But if you try to
Mm.
drag it when you don't have shift held down, it'll distort the image. So right at the
Yeah.
end, like
Usually press shift down and
yeah, so
drag
she
it
was
out.
she was pressing it and then right at the end, she like let go and like stretched it out. And I saw it and I was like, oh, I was gonna tell her. So my panda's a little bit wider than what he's supposed to be. He's a little fatter, whatever. But Nobody knows that. That's
It
just
looks. I didn't know that. It looks
yeah.
good, bro.
That's just one of the
The way it
little.
is.
I'm very like detail oriented, so that was one of the things. And every time I look at it, I was like, man, if she hadn't have done that one little click, you know what I mean, it would have been perfect. But you know, it's no big deal, man. Sometimes you just gotta roll with it, you know. But
Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah, that's
So then you start, you do the logo, you get that part done.
so
What happens after that?
like I moved here because I knew there was a need for what I was doing, like food trucks, you know. I used to have a pizza restaurant that I did with my mom's back in the day, like around
Nice.
2007,
Hell yeah.
2005. And
Okay.
unfortunately, we had to close that business down, but I learned a lot from doing that. And I
Mm.
was like, man, food truck's gonna be the future. This is before everything was like popular, like before the Food Network was showing like food truck stuff. But I knew just because of the numbers, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like how much it cost to run a brick and mortar business was so much at the time. And I was like, man, you know, if you could do everything mobile, you don't have to wait for the customers. You could go to where the customers
Yeah,
are. And so
it's true.
that was an idea that kind of stuck with me. And I've just been generating this for years and years, like since I've lost the pizza restaurant, to the point where like all my family and friends are like, yeah, 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 whatever, dude, food truck, you know, like
Mm.
they were all
It's
tired of
always like
hearing it.
that, man.
And but you know, every time I would set about to go and do it, something would come up, and my family really didn't understand the concept, you know. So
Mm.
van life was starting to be a thing as well, like people traveling and whatever. And my whole thing was I just wanted to travel, go see my friends and family in different places, you know what I mean, and have something that I could generate money with while I was traveling. And to
Yeah.
me, the food truck thing was the perfect outlet, and combining it with like the van life. So I always knew I wanted to have a van, RV to renovate and to maybe carry a food truck trailer. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
And
Hell yeah.
so that was my dream, my idea, and I knew that I could do it for relatively cheap, you know, if I built it myself or whatever. So, you know, I used to do mechanic work. I did HVAC with my uncles for a while. Like I'm very diverse. Like I got all kinds of different skills. I guess, you know, jack of
Yeah, I
all
see that.
trades, master of none, you know.
That's what's up.
But
Hell yeah.
but yeah, when so I got the van from my uncle, and it's kind of sentimental to me because it was his first van that he used to start his HVAC business.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, I took it, and for me, it was going to be like the start of my business. You know what I mean? But keep it in the
Yeah.
family kind of deal. So I knew social media was going to be the 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 way that I was going to put myself out there, and I knew how powerful it
Mm.
was. You know, I've been trying to tell people,
Smart.
you know, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
I commend people like you know, just going out there and doing it. You know what I mean? Because
Oh yeah.
why not? We got all this technology, all this stuff that we didn't have before at our fingertips now. You know, and I
That's
was
right.
like,
It
if little kids, if little Ling Ling can be on YouTube opening up
making
presents and shit
millions.
and making millions, bro, come on,
Mm-hmm.
I can do something at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what motivated me to get me into like social media and stuff. And so what I would do is like I would film me building the trailer or me cooking foods or whatever, and I would just post like even if it wasn't good quality or whatever, I would post like 4 or 5 times a day at the times that I
Nice.
thought people were using, you know, social media. So I was like, well, when do I use it? You know, it's like 9 o'clock in the
Mm.
morning when I'm getting up, getting ready. I'm just checking my feed, seeing what everybody's up to. Um, like right before lunch, 11, 12, you know what I'm saying? And then like 3, 4 when you're getting off of work, and then again at night, like 9, 10. So I would just hit up those hours and just start making content, you know what I mean? And then
Nice.
and so I would make the content like in the morning, I would go grocery shopping or chopping up the videos, and I'd be like, yo, can you guess what egg roll I'm making? This, that, you know, whatever. And then by the end of the day, you'll see the finished product, basically. So it kind of made you want
Nice.
to log
Go
in and
back and
keep,
see.
keep just to
Mm-hmm.
see what's up, right? And
Yeah.
then I would just post up after I do my videos because I would have it all pretty much shot in a few hours. And then by like noon or whatever, I'd have everything ready. I'd just be waiting to drop, right? So I would post up at downtown drafts, and if you day drinking in the square, you either a bum, you know what I mean? Like you either or you somebody, who can afford to be day drinking, right? So
Yeah.
I would be posting up and people would be asking me like, yo, what do you do? Who are you and whatever. And I'd be like, oh yeah, my name's John B. I'm trying to start this food truck business, blah, blah. Check me out. I'm on, Instagram, I'm on Facebook, whatever. And then they would see me, add me, and it would just blow up from there. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like before I even sold or anybody even tasted a single egg roll, like people knew about me just through that. You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
I
Hell yeah.
straight up didn't even have enough money to like buy the food to be selling. Like I would have like 20, $30. And me and my homie, like we would just go in together. Uh, like he'd match my 20 or 40 or 50, you know what I mean? And we split it up or whatever. And we would buy enough food, and so I knew if I wasn't able to sell the food, I needed to get value from the food somehow. So I was just doing the social media, you know what I'm saying, to
Mm.
to get value. And then it was
Yeah.
like from there, it was like, well, how do I get people to try it or taste it, or how do I make money, whatever, to get to the next level? So, the whole time and the whole concept with Walk and Roll was like just get to this level. And then once you get there, get to this level, get to the next level. So it's just a climb, from the bottom. And so what I would do, I would have like maybe 20, 30 egg rolls, right? And that's not going to make you
Mm.
rich or make you whatever. But I was like, how can I get the most value, the most impact for what I'm making, right? So I would hook up all the like the DJs, all the bartenders, all the like business owners, and I'd be like, "Yo, can you guys want to try my shit, like my new stuff?" So they would see the videos and they'd be like, "Man, that looks so good." And I was like, "Yo, I got a couple bags, you know what I mean, in the car, right? Like, you want to try some and let me film you like reaction video?" And be like, "Yo, yeah,
Nice.
I'm like, yeah." And they would try it. I would do the reaction videos and people loved them. You know what I mean? Like late night when you're partying, whatever, and you come out,
Mm-hmm.
like they would love them. And then they loved the concept, the idea. They would see me out on the streets, so they felt very connected. You know what I mean, to me, and just
Yeah.
watching me grow and my whole struggle and stuff. So that's how that's my claim to fame around the square. You know what I mean? I just kind of went ground up, and it's been a lot of different challenges, especially like, so I started it, I think 2018, like right before the
Okay.
pandemic. And then during the pandemic, all this stuff happened. Of course, everybody was, all the festivals, everything shut down, right? So I had
Yeah.
to adapt. I had to like, what I mean, change the game, flip the script a little bit. And so I started doing more like catering services or doing like takeout
Okay.
because
Hell yeah.
everything was shut down, but they were still allowing food to be delivered, right? So I
Yeah.
was teamed up with Chop Block at the time, and then we gave like something like 500 egg rolls to the ER services at the Lanier Hospital here.
That is
So
fire.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
so we gave them like, because there was only so many options for food for everybody at that time, and they were telling us like they were tired, they were happy that we were providing a service, whatever, still. And we were like, you know what, let's just donate, let's give them some. So we did that. My Chop Block's crew, shout out to them for helping me out and getting that out. So
Yeah,
that
for real.
further kind of just pushed the word out around the community. All the hospital people then knew who I was. And then same
Nice.
thing with the protests that were happening at the time, right? So, people were defacing some of the public buildings, public property, and then the cops would be like late night there having to clean and whatever, or just it was just tense situations, you know what I mean? There was like SWAT everywhere, everything.
Was
So,
this was in Gainesville?
hmm and so tensions were high at the time with all that stuff because people didn't know if the protests were going to break out in riots or whatever, you know what I mean? And then there were like
Yeah.
mobs, you know,
What were they protesting
starting to
about?
go. That was back in like George Floyd, like I Can't Breathe,
Oh,
BLM,
okay,
all
okay, that
them.
makes
Yeah,
sense. Okay.
yeah, and so that statue in the square, Old Joe, is what people refer to. It was built by like Sons of the Confederacy or something like that, like after the Civil
Mm,
War, and so it's kind of like an ode to the Confederate soldiers and things like that. So a lot of people didn't like that. You know
mm,
what I mean? They were like,
yeah,
that's whatever. But I'm more along the lines of let's leave it up there and have people of all diversity gather around it. That's an even bigger slap in the face to what it was
yeah,
stands about. You know what I'm saying? Like, why tear it down
yeah,
and whatever is like leave it up and show that despite this, right, we got all of this. You know what I mean? Like all the
yeah.
different
Mm-hmm.
communities and stuff. That I mean, that's just how I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But but yeah. Anyway, so just doing that type of stuff. So then I got in good with the police officers. Like they went back and they were like, "Yo, this dude's doing these egg rolls, man. It's fire. Like we got to get him." So the next day, funny story. The next day, the police chief comes in and he's like banging on the door. He's like, "Is there a John B here in the building or whatever?" He's like, "We need to talk to him or whatever." And I was like, "Oh shit, like
Oh,
what's going
oh
on? Am I
shit.
under investigation? Whatever." He was like,
Yeah.
"You fed my two boys, the other night, and they can't stop talking about these egg rolls." He was like, "Here's the city card." He was like, "I'm having the SWAT team coming in from all different cities, and we got to feed them. Like, would you mind making a bunch of egg rolls for us or whatever?" And my heart was like, "Oh, dude." I was like, "I thought you were coming
Oh,
to
hell
arrest me and shit."
yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
So I was
yeah.
like, "Yeah, yeah." And he
I
was
would
like,
have said the same shit.
whatever the bill is, whatever it costs, or whatever, you know what I mean, just run it. And so I was like, fuck, that was dope. That was another growth, point in my life, in my business. So, then all the cops, knew about me, like all the local police people, whatever. So it just kind of it was been steadily growing through that and social media. And I still hadn't even had my own restaurant at this time. Like
Wow.
it got so big, the Gainesville Times, the local newspaper, had heard about me and picked up the story and was like, yo, who's this cat doing this? Like we keep
Yeah, I
hearing
seen the
about
article.
egg rolls and whatever. And so, they did an article on me, put me on the newspaper, and it was tough, man, because then I realized I was like, yo, this social media stuff working better than I even really imagined. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it blew me up
yeah.
quick, quick.
You
Like,
used it to your advantage.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I had to kind of like slow it down and taper it. Plus, it was hard because it was just me. So, you know what
Mm,
I mean? As I started getting bigger events, I would have to spend more time making the food and planning and
yeah, I
coordinating
bet.
events because I
Shit.
was getting calls from everywhere after that. Like after the newspaper, people were like, "Where are you based out of? Where you located?" And I had to kind of fake the funk a little bit and be like, "Oh, well, I'm busy, I'm backed up." But really, the reality was like I only had so much capital to like even though I
Mm,
wanted to go to and do like make $10,000 in a weekend at this big festival, I didn't have enough capital to buy the food. And so I was struggling. I was
yeah,
like, yo, trying to hit up friends and family members. And that's kind of some of the toughest times was I was like, I got something, you know what I mean? Like I built something, I finally am doing
yeah,
it.
hell yeah,
But because
yeah,
it took me so long to build it and do it, people didn't really have the faith in me and people didn't really see the money, especially after COVID when money was tight for everybody. So I was like, yo, man, like there's money right here. I need a little bit to get to it. So I would have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people would ask me, like, why don't you do this event? Or why don't you go do this? And why don't you go do that? And I couldn't really tell them at the time. I'm like, because I can't afford to, you know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
that was a lot
Yeah.
of the obstacles that I had to face. And even now, like, so I decided to take a little hiatus and decided to make it more of a seasonal thing and revamp and redo the videos, more on the videos, because I think I would like to do more of the social media stuff, marketing, because I feel like there's a need for all small businesses, you know what I mean? Especially around this
Yeah.
area. Like I've contacted so many like social media influencer type people that's like, yeah, I know how to do that, I know how to do that. But when it came down to it, they would always want like so much money, you know what I mean? Be like thousands of dollars. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro,
It's wild.
I gotta put my shit out there before I can pay you, you know what I mean? Like it's gotta
Yeah.
start
Hell
making
yeah.
money before I just give you a bunch of money. Like I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if this is gonna work or whatever. So I just
Yeah.
kind of became my own social media specialist, which I still am barely scratching the surface on all this. But that's why I'm like linking up with people like you and just people
I
who are
appreciate
actually
that.
doing it. You know what I mean? Like just to actually be out there and do something and say that you're gonna
Yeah.
do something and do it. You'll find a lot of that out here. Like people try. It's a small town, and people
Yeah.
try and people
People
say they
grind
want to do things and people whatever, but the real one's gonna be there. You know what I mean? And
doing it.
yeah, yeah. So shout out to you, man. Kudos to you. Thanks for having me on the show
Thank you,
again.
man.
And yeah, I'm just
Appreciate
just
you.
on that whole being grateful tip. You know what I mean? Like I've been reading these books and things about just like how to manifest positive energy, law of attraction type stuff. And
Yeah.
really it's just about being grateful, man, and looking
That's
at
true.
how much we are blessed, you know what I'm saying? And then once you get your mind
Yeah.
set on that, you'll start moving more towards positive things more and more every day,
That's right.
you know?
Yeah.
So, and
The mind is really
yeah,
powerful, man.
yeah,
I mean,
lately,
just
bro, it's really, I know it sounds like a real trivial thing, but how we talk to ourselves is a big one too. Like
mm-hmm.
positive self-talk,
Yeah.
because like most people be like, "Oh man, I'm so stupid," like, "Oh, I'm an idiot,"
Yeah.
like even little things like that, bro. You gotta so that's what I'm on right now is like trying to rewire my brain and rewire how I speak to
Yeah.
myself. Because if you don't love
Yeah. Hell yeah,
yourself,
cause oh yeah,
people ain't gonna, you know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be
ain't
reciprocated
going
to you.
off you.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause we walk around and we treat other people with respect. So we love other people, but like sometimes a lot of us, and I've been a victim of it. Like most of my life growing up, and I didn't love myself. I didn't take care of myself. I didn't respect myself.
Hmm.
And when you talk, like you were saying, when you talk bad about yourself, your body doesn't know the difference,
Yeah.
you know. So you have over a trillion cells, and I say this to people all the time, even to my kids, everybody.
Hmm.
Watch how you talk to yourself, man, because picture your trillion cells being like the minions.
Yeah.
The minute you say, I'm dumb or I can't do it,
That's
you
what you're
know,
gonna send out
you
there.
have
That's what you put out there. Yeah.
exactly. And those trillion cells, they're gonna follow your order. He can't do it. That's why they say the person who says that he can do it and the person that he says he can't do it, they both usually right.
Hmm.
Because it's a mindset, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do this. I this podcasting, like, bro, man, I've been figuring it out as you go, and I'm sure you had that
Yeah.
experience, with your food truck. You could sit there and plan about it, or which at first you have to do, right? When you
Hmm.
in a business venture, podcast, whatever. Usually you ask people, what's the first thing you got to invest? And a lot of people say money, and I answer differently. I answer time
Hmm.
because you have to
Yeah.
research. You have
Time
to
time
research.
is
All right, I
money.
got to get
Yeah.
this. I have to get this. I have to get that. then I gotta do this. So you gotta research it because if I come to you and I give you $20,000, but you don't know, you don't have a blueprint to how, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's just
The
gonna be
money, I
gone.
tell
Yeah.
people, the money will come, and you speaking about manifestations and trying to attract positive stuff. Um, I wasn't always like that, you know. When I started to read, that's why I tell people reading is important because reading could really change your mindset. And when I started to say, all right, instead of saying if, you know, I would say when,
Hmm.
you know, I wouldn't say, oh, I can't do that. You know, I would say, all right, how can I get that?
Yeah.
And I read that, I learned that from that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
Mm.
you know, from
It's
Robert
good.
Kiyosaki.
Robert
And
Kiyosaki.
how, yeah, bro, I recommend people to listen to read that book, man, because if you want to learn about money, you know, he talks about, you know, and it's a beautiful story.
Hmm.
But the manifestation things, man, it's really important to tell yourself you could do it. All right, you just gotta figure it out, you know, talk to yourself nice, love yourself, and you know, treat yourself with respect. You know, you treat your boss with respect, you know, but you don't treat yourself with
Yeah.
respect,
Yeah.
you know. So what's that term where they say that question, would you rather be at war with the world and at peace with yourself, or at peace or at war with yourself and peace with the world,
Right.
you know? And I'd rather be at peace with myself and at world and at war with the world
Right.
because at the end of the day, man, I wake up, I look myself in the mirror, I gotta deal with me, I gotta deal with my decisions. And like what you were talking about earlier, which is something I always do all the time, it's being grateful, you know, giving back, you know, and sometimes I've had like $5, my last $5 in my pocket, you know, and I'll see somebody homeless, bro, I'll give it to them,
Mm.
you know, because I know they're gonna be more grateful of it, you know, like they may not have a chance to make more money, you know, and I have a chance to make more money. So, so yeah, being grateful, giving back is definitely a big important key to success. And not only that, but I'm sure you've like with your business, had a taste of failures, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I mean,
and
you
you,
know, I'm still struggling through stuff every day. You know, people still asking me, "Yo, man, you still doing the egg rolls, man? What happened? What's going on?" You know, and at one point, because I was still looking for a home base, because after Chop Block and we separated, I kind of got into I kind of got into it with a business partner that was not so, it was just bad, bro. Let's put it that way. And a lot of
yeah,
people in Gainesville know about it, but like it almost ruined my reputation. It was so bad, you know what I mean? And this dude was just not a good dude, you know what I mean? Like just not.
mm,
But and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
yeah,
But
put out there.
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
like I had to overcome and find those challenges and whatever. And thankfully my reputation and me dealing with people on a one-on-one kind of basis, people saw that that wasn't me, you know what I mean, or whatever allegations, everything that came on was like that I didn't have nothing to do with it. And people were like, yo, bet, you know what I mean. But it was a bad situation, almost ruined the whole thing. So that set me back a little bit, and just now starting to recoup from all of that. And but it's just something that I've been passionate about. I know it's going to get there eventually, and I know it's going to take time. But yeah, people were asking me like
mm,
every day on the streets. They were like, "Yo, man, where the egg rolls at? Where the egg rolls at?" So then I started shooting this. I'd be like, "Hold up, man! I'm tired of everybody just asking me. I'm just going to start filming people who ask me that." And so I made like this whole like
mm,
commercial, like where the egg
hell
rolls
yeah,
at, like kind
smart,
of thing
saw an
video.
opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. So it was like where the air goes at. But it started to be like there was no reason for me to do the social media that much anymore, because it
Yeah,
was supposed to be promoting the business. So I didn't have,
mm,
the facilities, the money, the everything capital to get the business going. So there was no need to do the videos then.
yeah,
And then, and so like had an opportunity last year to get into the mortgage business. So I took some time off, studied. I got my mortgage license, to be able to do that. And of course, it's like the
Nice.
worst time to get into mortgage now, and the interest rates are so high. It's like everything I do is like double-edged sword, you know what I mean? I got this hat that says hard luck, and I really do like, but maybe I'm manifesting my own, you know what I mean? Like, so I kind
Yeah.
of quit wearing the hat because I was like, my boy was like, man, you should wear that hat, bro. Like, because everything you do has been like, you know, one step forward, two
Well, I
steps
mean,
back type of deal.
I guess it depends how you look at it, bro. Because you
Mm,
could look at it that way, or you could look at it like, all right, nobody's buying houses right now. This is the perfect time to learn this shit.
right,
Because
right.
the minute everything, every down comes an up, every up is a down.
Yeah,
So you know that shit's gonna spike up soon. And
yeah,
people like me
mm,
are, I'm just waiting,
yeah,
and
yeah. I mean, I
and just
I feel like it'll always come back around. People are always going to grow, have families, and need bigger places to
yeah,
stay and have houses.
mm-hmm,
It's not going to go anywhere. It's one of the reasons why I
yeah,
pursued it. Just another thing to have under my belt. And so,
hell yeah,
I took some time off to do that. And like another thing is after the food truck, and I had to like give it up. Like I wasn't really making any steady income. So I was like, bro, I got to get back into, I got to make some money basically. So my thought was like, okay, what do I do, what I mean, that will still be congruent to the food truck or whatever. So it just get back into the restaurant game, which, I didn't really, I had to swallow a lot of pride. You know what I mean? I was like, I
mm,
thought I had made it, did the food truck thing and was like, yo, here we are. But now, I had to swallow my pride and get back in the kitchen and get back to cooking. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna. There's a lot of good chefs in the area, man. There's a lot of good people like being around for a long time. I'm just gonna try to work for the biggest and the best in Gainesville. You know what I
mm,
mean? Like I'm just gonna try
yeah,
to strengthen my culinary game up and kind of make a name for myself in the culinary industry in the area. So shout out to Hopscotch, David for putting me on. He got me back there in the kitchen. Albert, dude, tons of knowledge there. Albert, his crew, they're owners of Avocado Hopscotch in that Gainesville area, Blue Door.
mm,
So
okay,
those
hell
are my
yeah.
day one dudes, man. And
Nice. I had a buddy of mine go to Avocado yesterday.
mhm,
It's
mhm.
crazy.
So I
Hell
I
yeah.
learned a
What
lot.
type of food do they sell there?
Avocados is more like Mediterranean, and then hopscotch is like a
Okay.
tapas kind of bar, but they're running specials and stuff all the time. Shout out to my boy Josh Freeland, best bartender, apparently the best chef in town too. So
Uh-uh.
I'm
Oh,
gonna go
really?
out there and
Where's
say
he
that.
located?
He's
Where's
hopscotch.
he located?
He's hopscotch.
Hopscotch?
He's the main dude
I'm
in
gonna have to go.
hopscotch. So
Nice.
he be whipping up new specials all the time, bro. Magnificent. You know what I mean? Like I never claimed to
All right,
be
hell yeah.
like top chef or whatever. In reality, I make adult hot pockets. You know what I mean? I just do. I call it.
He said adult hot pockets.
I do Southern comfort, Asian fusion comfort foods is what I call it. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I just take whatever people like, the comfort foods that we know and love, and wrap it in an egg roll wrapper. You know what I mean? So it ain't nothing too fancy, and I never claim to be like whatever, but I'm always like learning, growing, perfecting. So I was like, you know,
Nice.
I'm just gonna try to work with the best and see if some of it
Mm-hmm.
will rub off with me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's been working.
Yeah, I
Like,
think it will.
I've worked at Port Richards. I was at Chop Block. Doing my thing with Chop Block and those guys. Um, I was at Mule Camp like the last final days of Mule Camp. You know what I mean? Like the last hoorah, last run. So Mule Camp was, like I said, it was like the cheers of the community. It was like that place where everybody went to late night, and they would always serve late night food. You know what I mean? So you would always grab like,
Mm.
and
Oh
it
yeah.
was all like hand battered, hand fried stuff. It'd be like fried mushrooms, fried pickles. Our chicken wings were the best, like the burgers. Like it was a
I'm
solid
assuming that spot's still open, right?
solid menu. No, it's closed down now. So
Oh, damn.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, people still miss it, man. It was a place where like it was like a lot of people's first place bar that they went to in Gainesville. It was like it was like a
Nice.
rite of passage kind of place, you know what I mean? And it was just a hole in the wall dive bar. Like they would do like heavy metal rock shows there, had a little stage. Like it was just a tiny spot and it always like smelled bad. Like
Oh,
it was
damn.
horrible, bro. But like
The mule
we
camp.
all loved it, you know what I mean? And when
Yeah.
I first heard the name, I was like, Mule Camp. Like, why would you name your business that? But later on, I found out
Sounds like a gym.
there's a history about that. Like all old school Gainesville, like back when the gold rush was happening, like Dahlonega was known for like people mining gold and stuff, right? So
Hmm.
Mule Camp, it was called Mule Camp because people would camp out in this creek that used to run in Gainesville, like a little stream, and they would set up camp and do the stream before they head up to Dahlonega area to mine their
Yeah.
gold. So they there's a festival every year in Gainesville called the Mule Camp Festival. So they just
Oh, I
named,
went to that.
yeah, so they just named it Mule Camp. You know what I mean?
I was wondering where that name come, because when you said the mule camp, it it rang a bell, but I just didn't know from where until you said that. We went to that festival.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's good.
Hell yeah, that's fire.
It's dope. Yeah,
You seem to know your history,
a
man.
little bit about it. Yeah, I mean, I just, just from talking with people, I grew up in the area, so I kind of knew a little bit about it, but as I started
Mm,
hanging out and I would just ask questions and meeting with people and meeting with some of the business owners and things like that. And so, it's just part of my journey, man. I'm always, stay curious, you know what I mean? Like just always asking questions, always learning, new things. So you got a little bit of history with the area and everything, so it's cool, like trying to use it to kind of promote some of the local businesses too. Um,
smart. Oh
you know,
yeah.
I my plan coming in was like I just want to get like deep into it in this city and be a part of it as it grows and hopefully have a hand in shaping, how some of this stuff gets formed, you know what I mean? Like I was like
Yeah.
I have the knowledge of like because of my background in HVAC, I know a lot of the builders, a lot of the contractors and things like that. And so like I was like, well, this is how I get my foot in the door. This is how I get in the game, right? Like I'm gonna be that
Nice.
dude that knows how to get everything done, that's gonna plan everything, that's gonna have the ideas for the different things that need to be built in the area or just really like kind of have my hand on the pulse of what's going on and the people who are spending money, the consumers in the area, right? So just trying to
Mm,
get like deep in there, and that was another reason for getting back into the kitchens and the foods and seeing how people migrate, you know, on a deeper level, you know what I mean? Like on a personal level, not just
yeah.
personal, but throughout, and just learning what people would like to see in the area, right? So, and then take that, formulate some kind of a business, and then take it to the right people. You know what I mean? So I'm just
Hell
trying to
yeah.
be the middleman and trying to be like the dude that's, kind of in the mix of things. You know what I mean? And it's been like that. It's been working out so far, but it seems to be like, in the beginning when all this new stuff was popping off, it seems to be like everybody. It's like this side of town and this side of the square. It's like we don't like them over there.
Mm,
We doing our thing over here, and there's a lot of egos when it comes to business owners sometimes. You know what I mean? But
wow.
I think if they can put that type of thing aside, and
Yeah.
and if we it, I think it's better to have a bunch of diversity, right? So like, if
Yeah,
somebody
of
didn't like
course.
my spot, they would have the option to go to your spot across the street,
Yeah.
but they still, you know what I mean, in the area, like we still sharing the
Mm-hmm.
square, right? So it's
Yeah,
beneficial.
yeah.
The more people come in here, the more chances you get to sell your business or to promote your business, and I think it's a healthy growth, right? Like that's what, capitalism is all about, right? Like it's just having options for people.
Yeah.
So, I've been talking to a couple people, like I've gotten with some of the JCs, the Junior Chamber of Commerce people, you know what I mean? They call them the JCs.
Nice.
Shout out to my boy Burns, like he was the head of the JCs, got, lawyer. He's doing his own thing. I think he's about
Hell
to get
yeah.
his own firm now, so shout out to him, big salute to him. He's been a big help in helping me get my LLC and getting stuff done. Um,
Nice.
but I kind of, I joined like some of the I think the Main Street market people. So there's stuff within the community, that the business owners are getting into, and I've been to a couple of those meetings. I've shared some thoughts, some ideas with them, and there's a lot of room for growth, and there's a lot of opportunities to do like a bunch of cool stuff, you know what I mean? But trying to have a balance between pleasing like the old heads, all the
Yeah.
owners, and so what they've created now, they've kind of extended the square area. That's what that bridge to nowhere is about. So I looked at all like the city plannings, and like I said, I know some people, so I've talked to like what the future, like what the city actually plans on doing. You know what I mean? Like the actual government and everything.
Mm.
So that bridge to it used to be called the bridge to nowhere because like it didn't
Yeah, I
used
was
to have
about to
any
ask
of
you why.
those buildings. None of that was there. Like they had
Mm,
been planning
okay.
this for a long time. So now the time is right. So, we have one of the best cardiac pulmonary like hospital type stuff here in Georgia, in Gainesville specifically. A lot of clinics, and
Nice.
so they're building it, they're gearing it up to be catering to the medical people. So, like the nurses, doctors,
Mm.
think people who will fly in or whatever. So they're trying to grow it for that community. But I think the thing that they don't realize is that those type of people, like everybody thinks that it's going to be like instant money, right? Like all these people coming in, and I saw it with the growth of like Alpharetta, because the big tech boom in the
Hmm.
2000s, right? Late 90s, 2000s, internet, everything was going on like tech. So a lot of young money was being developed, and then with that, people want to floss and show their money and go to these nice cool things. And Alpharetta was just like booming, like there were so many different restaurants, everything, but it was, I hate to say it, but a lot of it was just garbage. A lot of it was just
Hmm.
just throwing money out there to try and get money, in. So there was no like soul, no real thought or real, input behind it as to what a customer would want. You know what I mean? So that's what I saw in Charlotte and how it developed, and was like, man, Charlotte has soul. You know what I mean? Charlotte had like, there was underground rap, places where you could go and see like the underground, like people doing, rap battles, hip hop. There was like dance battle places that you could go to in Charlotte. I thought that was cool. You know what I mean? Like, you only
Yeah.
really see that type of stuff in movies. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff like that in the big city in New York, but you don't really get that down here. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
just an opportunity to see that. And I was like, man, if I can bring some of those ideas from Charlotte and implement them here, we could have some cool
Yeah.
stuff, you know what I mean, and make it kind of a vibe, down here. So that's all I've been working on. That's all I've been doing is just networking, man, and just trying to positively shape or influence, my surrounding area in any way I can.
Yeah, you're more involved than I thought you were, bro. What
I'm deep in it, bro.
yeah.
I'm deep in it, bro. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. How did you get into these meetings? Just by networking and meeting people?
bro, I mean, that's what the power of just being kind and being and manifesting and being grateful, you know what I mean? Like, and just telling my story, telling my truth, like I have had so much help along the way, like Nick and Amy, Downtown Draft, the people who own Downtown Drafts, they were always, let me, do taste testings and stuff in front of their building, the guys at Chop Block, Kevin Schaefer, BK, like they gave me a chance, gave me a spot up there. Um, Vic has offered, help me out and do it. Like, so just me being kind and sharing my story or whatever just got my foot in the door to a lot of these places
Just being yourself.
and
Hell yeah.
and just,
Awesome.
you know what I mean? Just doing that, bro. Like it's been amazing, and it's only growing from here. So, I'm trying to keep in tune and keep in touch with what's going on here. Sometimes a little too much. I get a little too overboard, like everybody, it feels good when people are like, "Yo, John B," like patting on your back, but not everybody out there is genuine, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like
Got your
it might
assholes.
be like just a surface level type thing, you know what I mean? So like I even though I know a lot of people around the area, like like I only really fucks with like certain people, you know what I mean? Uh, like I'm naturally an invert too. You probably wouldn't know it by my interactions or whatever, but it takes a lot
Yeah.
out of me to like just constantly put my, be out there and do stuff, but I know I have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I
So
feel you.
I will take, I'll be out there doing my thing, whatever, and then I'll just kind of like fall back into my own zone and just kind of be ghost for a little while. You know what I mean? But so I'm just trying to find a balance of all of that right now, and that's been a big challenge. But thankfully, um, technology and stuff has helped me kind of keep those ideas and keep those things in order and in check. Because like I got a lot of stuff going on. People sometimes like in the past, even my friends and family, are like, bro, you doing too much, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you
Mm.
doing too much. You got like all this shit, all this stuff, but they don't realize it's like when people, like people like to do their leisure activity, like when they're chilling, they'll put on a Netflix show or play some video games. Like I didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like I would be
Yeah.
researching like how to do a business
Mm.
plan or like how to make videos or just anything congruent to what I was working on at the time or doing. You know what I mean? Like that's
Hell
like
yeah.
I would feel guilty just to sit around or whatever. Which that's something I've gotten better at doing. Is like, man, sometimes it's okay to just not do anything.
Take
You
a
know, and
break.
just take a break.
Yeah, take a breather.
So but I've been operating like that for a long a long time. So it's just the hustle in me, I guess. Like I just can't. Can't turn it off sometimes. But you know,
Were you born here? I know it's a random ass
yeah,
question, but
yeah.
were you born here in the US?
Yeah, so I was born here in Habersham County, so it was like northeast Georgia.
Habersham.
Yeah, yeah, so it's like
That's crazy.
country,
I
country.
I get bro, I get shocked when I talk to people that were born here and they don't have that strong southern accent, you know?
Hmm.
Um, so that's something that I've talked to several people that were
It
born here.
it comes out sometimes, man, like when I talk to certain
It
people or
does?
whatever. But I've traveled around. I've been in different cities, been in different areas, so that's part of the reason why like I'm able to just kind of I don't have a strong accent, but it comes out, you know what I mean? When I'm talking to people from back home or whatever, I'm like, "What's going on, y'all?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I get real
Mm-hmm.
country. But
I feel the same way when I go back to New York, man.
yeah,
It's different the way we talk to each other down there I mean, up there compared to how people talk to each other here.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I can call, but but your family, your parents, they're from
From Laos,
Laos,
Laos. Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Okay, and Laos is like, right. I think it's right below China, right? By Vietnam.
Yeah, Southeast Asian
It's
country is landlocked between Thailand and Vietnam, and
okay.
so it's between Thailand and Vietnam. There's no ocean around us, but there's a river that runs through it, like a Mekong River. This is one of the biggest rivers in the world, I believe. Pretty big, but yeah, Mekong River. So it used to be like Thailand and Laos were one, one country or one nation, and then like when the French took over in Indochina and all that, they divided it between the geographical like stuff, like the river. They just split it right between the river. But like that's why
Wow.
Thailand and Laos we speak very similar language. It's we can understand them, they can understand us, but Thai people are kind of bougie. Like they pretend like they don't know what we talking about, but like it's the same shit, bro.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I was lucky. I was fortunate enough. So I spent some time. I helped a buddy of mine do a lobster fishing out in Maine and in Connecticut and stuff,
Oh
doing
wow.
running bait and stuff like that. And I made some pretty good money. And I took that money and I went to Laos and just visit the motherland. And then like my uncle, he was like the first guy to do a freight forwarding company in Laos, so he was pretty well off. Like, and he married into a wealthy family. Like, his brother-in-law was the UN ambassador for Laos for a while,
Oh wow.
and
Nice.
yeah, that's a whole another story with him. You know what I mean, and all that. But he was pretty well off. But he always told me like he's the reason why I still speak the language to this day. Because he was like,
Nice.
yo, we he was like a long lost uncle, and we didn't know because when communism and all that stuff was happening, my dad and my uncle were just graduating and going to like college, right? And so my uncle got picked up and went to Moscow, to learn and go
Hmm.
through get his college training, basically, I guess brainwashed, into communism or whatever. So when that was going on, the communists were coming in and taking over the villages and everything. And so my family fled while he was in
Hmm.
college in Russia still. So then he came back and, was granted like power to do stuff, whatever, because he was trained, through the whatever. So he started the first freight forwarding company, Laos Freight Forwarding, LFF. So, made a bunch of money and he found us out. He found where we were living, and we reunited. I think back in like '94 or something like that. And
Oh
so,
yeah.
like I said, his brother-in-law was like ambassador to the UN. So here's this guy just shows up out of nowhere. My long lost uncle showing up in like Lincoln town cars with like fucking Secret Service people, and all the
Wow.
OGs in the town. Like, Asian community is small and close knit. So everybody that I've ever respected is like coming over and bowing down, and he's driving up, and he's real like very like Soviet type, dude, because he went to school in Moscow, right? So he's real,
Wow.
drinks vodka and all this shit. And everybody's like just, oh, Uncle Sang, you know what I mean? Like bound down. So he comes up to me. I'm like, 11, 12, 13, something like that, was a little kid. And he's like, oh, is this Jonathan? You know what I mean? Like this, you the future, this and that. He's like, if you see the hair and the skin color, then don't forget, you know what I mean? Like you might be born here, but you're Laos, you know. And when you get
Yeah.
older, and when you grow up, you come see your uncle, and I'm gonna show you what being Laos is all about. And when you go into a
Hell
Laotian
yeah.
household,
Wow.
when you go into a Laotian household, when you see Laotian people, you speak Lao, you know what I mean? So I was like, damn, it just kind of stuck with me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I did, and unfortunately he passed away before I had a chance. Life happens, and we're
Oh man.
busy. I wasn't able to go and visit him while he was still alive, and so he had an only son, my cousin, and we were tight through the years. Like they sent him to live with us, uh, for the summer, like through his high school years, And you know how like rich
Yeah.
people send their kids away to like different foreign countries so that they can see how poor things are, whatever. It was like they sent him to live with us to see how poor we was living in America. You know what I mean? Because they had it good over there. It's
Damn.
crazy. And so
Yeah, must have had it good. Yeah.
like my cousin was having his like second baby. Like I missed his wedding, I missed his dad's funeral or whatever, and I was like, fuck it. I made this money doing the lobster thing, and I'm just gonna go out there and visit the motherland, right? So
Wow.
went out there, and that story, people would ask me because sometimes I don't know if it's like this with like uh Hispanic people. I've heard similar stories. Like people who are here like to go back and floss and front, get the fake gold
Yeah.
chains and be like, yeah, we living in America,
Mm-hmm.
we doing it big, but really they just faking the funk. So a lot of people do that when they go back to, our country. But in the motherland, it's like you ain't fooling nobody. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there's no middle class. Like if you got money, you got money over there. You know what I mean? And if you're
Yeah.
broke, you just broke. So they see right through whatever the fuck you trying to do. So I think a lot of people expected me to be like that when I was there, but they were
Yeah.
intrigued, like especially me being that young, like how do you speak so fluently? You know what I mean? Like, you speak a lot better than a lot of the younger people who come over here and like what's your gig? Like I wasn't flossing, any whatever, but through my family ties, they were like, oh, you must be, somebody big important. But I'm like, nah, I'm just here. I pay my respects to my uncle. I tell them the story that I just told you, and they were like, man, that's crazy. Like, you know what? I'm gonna show you what your uncle was supposed to show you. Like, come with me. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, your uncle was this type of
That's
dude.
fire.
Like, he was,
Nice.
and so I quickly like met some of the top people like who used to deal with my uncles and stuff. You know what I mean? And showing me the business and showing me stuff, and I'm like super grateful for that. So like, yeah, I spent some time. I was there for about a year, and I loved it. And like I was gonna retire there. You know what I mean? And I still kind
Wow.
of got the plan to retire. Another side note, man, this is gonna be like I got stories for days, bro. You gonna want me to be like
Fuck it.
on the podcast? Like we ain't got enough time. You
Hell
know what I mean?
yeah.
Like my
Hell
whole
yeah.
adventures in Laos was another thing. Like I ended up getting engaged to the general's daughter, like the communist general, like that was responsible for kicking our family, everything out. Like, yeah, I met his daughter, shotgun wedding. That's a whole nother video just in itself, man.
What?
Like I don't even know if I
That
can
sound
really
like Romeo.
speak on it, bro. Like I don't even know, you know.
Damn. That's what.
I don't know how I'm
That.
not
Well, if you
like a
don't.
person of interest with the CIA or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's wild, bro. It was wild. She
It.
tried to kill me twice, bro. Tried to run me over in a car. It was like a shotgun wedding.
Oh
She was
shit.
saying like I got her pregnant, but then she had a miscarriage. So, but it was crazy, man. But we're not together no more. Thank God. So yeah, but it was
You
wild.
said that God.
Yeah, bro. It was wild. It was wild, bro.
Is that the first time you went to Laos, how long were you there for?
I was there for about 6 months, and then my grandmother
Damn,
had,
bro, you were there for a
yeah, my
minute.
grandmother was sick, and she got sick and was on her deathbed, so I had to come back for her funeral and stuff. And then, then I went back. So that was, that was an adventure, man. I loved it over there. Like it was just ups and downs, bro. That was one of the craziest times in my life. You know what I mean? But it was
Yeah, I bet.
definitely a cool experience. I just kind of want to go back and do it right now. You know?
Well,
So,
hopefully not get married
huh?
or engaged.
Uh,
Hopefully not get engaged
I'm
or married to
man,
some crazy
I
girl.
got I got way too much. I got way too much on my plate right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it would if I got with somebody, it would have to be somebody like really on the same page as like
Mm.
just business wise.
As you
Yeah,
are.
you know what I mean? Like, And unfortunately, I just haven't met that person yet. You know what I mean? But I'm not really looking, but I'm not gonna like cast it out. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just
if it comes, it comes. Yeah.
I'm
Oh
just
yeah.
more focused on like loving myself and doing what I do, and eventually, I think everything will fall into place. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not
Yeah, man,
too
that's
worried about all that, but you know,
for you, man. That's really interesting. Um, and that you were able to go back to your country
uh,
and speak your language because I don't know where I heard this from, but it was a Spanish person said to somebody, I forgot where, but they were like that, you know, me when people ask me where you from, I don't tell them I'm from New York or I'm American, I tell them I'm Salvadorian. My parents are Salvadorian. They were born and raised. They migrated here, so I tell people all the time I'm Salvadorian. Half of them get shot because everybody thinks I'm Mexican.
oh yeah,
And I'm like, no, no, no. Ain't nothing against Mexican people. I love them, but um, yeah, I'm Salvadorian. So when I go back, and I've been there several times, um, you know, I, I see what you're saying when people try to go back and be flashy, and when we go back, when I first went, I went as a kid. So the kids, like my cousins, that they were my age, they were thinking I was this like classy, like bougie motherfucker. It
yeah.
was like I had it rough too, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's funny because people do go back and they flash, and or they go back speaking English, and
Yeah.
and like half of the people don't know English there. So when they see somebody like myself, they get shocked because um I'm fluent in Spanish as well. I could read it, I could write it, I could speak it
See, I can't
perfectly.
read or write Laos, but I can speak it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. See, I think what helped me, man, was that I was in dual language classes,
Mm,
and what also helped me a lot was having Spanish parents that didn't speak English.
right.
So when I went home, I would speak strictly
Right.
Spanish, and that was what I was about to tell you. There's a guy, I forgot where I got it from, man, but he said that as Spanish people, our Spanish is starting to die off because
Mm,
we no longer speak Spanish to our kids. We're speaking English to our
right.
kids, and that made me think, man. I'm like, yo, that's correct. That's the way it should be. But
It's
I don't
kind
know,
of
man. There's
sad, huh?
something
You know what I mean? Like
with these kids, man. 2000s and forward,
yeah,
it's
I was shocked, a lot
it's
of the
shocked.
younger kid, like they tell me they don't even speak Spanish. Like for real, like they're like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't,
know.
we just never used it, whatever, whatever. Like, and the same with the Asian and
And
Laotian community. And I think it's sad.
do you guys got names for them? We do.
No, I'm
No,
I don't know of any. I don't know. I'm sure we do, you know what I mean? What's
Spanish people we call them um for the the Spanish well, let's all right, hold on, let me say that again. For the people that come from Spanish people that don't speak Spanish,
uh-huh.
and you ask them a question in Spanish and they answer you in
Yeah.
English, we call them the no sabo
Los
kids.
Sabo? What's that?
No, like no,
No
N-O,
Sabo?
N-O,
Yeah.
sabo. No sabo comes from like it's really the correct term is no sé.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Like you ask them a question, I don't know.
yeah,
But they will answer as no sabo,
yeah.
and sabo is not a word in Spanish. So we call them the no sabo
Yo,
kids,
that I think that would be a cool t-shirt, I think, or like
No sabo.
no
Yeah. I'm
Sabo.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure they have it out there, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. But that's what we call them. But me, yeah, I mean my kids, man. I am not gonna sit here and speak and act like, I'm teaching them Spanish because I'm not, bro.
Yeah.
I grew up speaking Spanish my whole life, and I just, I'm more comfortable with English. But my kids do speak Spanish. Sebastian, he's 9 years
Hmm.
old. He speaks it. He reads it. Because he's in bilingual or was in bilingual classes. We took him out. But the youngest one, Julie, she's 2. She's starting to grow up with English.
Yeah, it's tough,
And
man. Like if you don't use it, a lot. And the funny thing about my accent in Laos is like it's very, very like proper. It's very like, I sound like a fucking, they told me I sound like a freaking like official, like a government dude or whatever. But it's because
Oh, okay, hell
when
yeah.
I was learning the language, I didn't learn through the younger kids speaking it. I learned through like the adults, and I would
Mm,
only speak it
okay.
to other adults, right? So it's very like yes sir,
Mm,
yes ma'am, very like good direct. So they were like, "Why you talk
nice.
like that, bro? Like like we're just chilling. Like why you gotta talk like that?" And I'm like, "That's just how I learn." You know what I mean? Like that's, I
Yeah,
learned.
because I'm sure you guys have slang too,
Oh,
right?
bro,
I'm
like
so, I think
they,
everybody
I was
does.
mind blown. Like when I got there, like the little kids running around, like saying all shit to each other, like they were just like cursing, like saying words and shit that I ain't. I was like, damn, you know what I mean? Like where's your mama, man? Like you need to be cleaned out with
Yeah,
some soap. You know what I mean? Like fuck. But
yeah.
I was shocked. But at least your boy got could speak enough game to bag the general's daughter. So yeah, I'm
Man.
like, that's the first time, bro. It's funny story. It's the first time I've ever like mac on a chick in my own language. Like does that make sense?
Uh-oh.
Like I
Hell yeah.
I've never like I said, like my Laos was like more, very, what I mean, direct, very like proper, you know what I mean? But when I was talking to her, I was hollering at her. It was the first time I've ever like spit game in my own language, so it was kind of weird.
Nice.
It was weird.
Did she speak any English?
Just very, very, very little, very broken English, like couple words or whatever.
So almost so pretty much the conversations were in Laos.
Yeah, yeah. But there's some things that don't need translation. Like the way you looking at me, girl. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro.
And then she wanted to kill you.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Hey, but you gotta love somebody first to hate them, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been in crazy relationships too,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
It was wild.
psycho crazy people.
It was wild, bro. It was wild. I
Damn, hell yeah.
but
Yeah, man. Well, hey, John, I appreciate you being on, man, taking the time to come
yeah, no
and
doubt, no
talk to
doubt.
me. I tell people all the time, you're welcome to come on whenever you want, bro. Hey, Los,
Bet,
put
bet.
me in the schedule, next week, or bro, I've been thinking of trying to do like um a live like conversation with somebody, and it's hard to find people out here who are willing to do it. If I'm not mistaken, I think you're the first person I interviewed that's from this area,
Oh, that's from here? Oh
and
shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, oh shit,
Harris,
yeah,
Hall
and
County represent,
they call it Hale County too,
Hell
right?
County. Oh, bro, I can imagine. I can only imagine all this stuff, but it's been working out for
Yeah,
me. Like a lot of people, they say that like it's cursed or whatever, but it's really just the mentality, right? So if you think about it geographically, we're the biggest town coming from like, all the hillbilly stuff up north, right? And we're the biggest town before you start getting into the major cities in Atlanta. So it's this melting
it's
pot
true.
of people who are trying to make it out of where their situation from up north. We call it like Meth Mountain up there. And people trying to make it out of Meth Mountain, right? And then you get like the people who can't really hack it in ATL or downtown, you know what I mean, migrating up here because it's cheaper to live. So it's a lot of like, I guess, for lack of a better term, wannabes or people who try like, so just kind of like an air of despair in the city. And I try not to feed into that. I'm trying to be like, yo, bro, like, as a matter of fact, it makes it easier for somebody like me to come in through and kind of like be the big fish in a small pond, you know what I mean? Because while everybody's out there
Mm,
playing victim mode or, what I mean, woe is me type of shit, like, I come through and make the best of it and, what I mean, just shine and do me.
yeah,
And that's what I encourage other people to do. Like, you got a dream, you got something that you know what I mean, you want to push, you want to promote, let's link up. Let's do it. Let's
hell
do
yeah.
it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. You know what I mean? So Like, thanks for having me on here. Thanks for having a platform, doing
No
stuff.
problem, bro.
Like, it may not be what you want it right now, but it's gonna get there if you keep plugging away at it. You know what I
Amen.
mean? Keep doing it. So,
Mm-hmm.
shout out to you, man. Like, please, I hope you
Thank
have
you.
me on,
Appreciate you.
later as we grow.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go to Napolis
Yeah, I'm excited to see
Pizza.
how your channel, how everything goes. I'm interested to see like the inner workings behind the scenes stuff. So just keep me in mind, man. Let's do this thing, bro. Let's
I will, bro. I'll stay in touch with you. I definitely would love to link up with you. Fridays, bro, I get out mad early. I get out at 11:30 in the morning. I only work 4 hours. So if you want, bro, we go to Annapolis. We can go to the square, whatever. I definitely would like to link up with
yeah,
you.
man.
And you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Last time
let's
I
do a
seen
little
you was over there at
promo
the
for
square.
Napoli's, man. Let's check it out. I don't actually
Yeah, yeah.
there's a Napoli's here in I don't know if you guys are related, but it's a in Lula, right outside of
Lula,
Gainesville.
yes,
Oh, so
yes. It's
that
the
is that like one of the
yeah, it's the
restaurants for you?
same thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a history behind Napolis was Italian guy named People, Giuseppe. We call him People. He started all three chains and then sold it to my cousin, the one in Oakwood, and
Hmm.
then the other guy in Lula. But I think Lula does I think well, I don't know. I've never been there. I've heard of it, but I heard it's like pretty small.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Um,
tiny.
but
It's-
yeah, I usually go to the one in Oakwood. There's another one in Flowery Branch too.
Okay.
But yeah, man, let's try to see if we can link up and do something, man. And you know,
Where
is there can we follow you somewhere?
I'm still working on it right now. I got Instagram, but unfortunately, like I've just haven't really. I've been sleeping on it, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
because it was used to be a platform to promote the food truck, and the
Yeah.
food truck is
Yeah.
now like seasonal. It's kind of, I gotta do a bunch of renovations to the trailer. My van, the motor blew in the van, you know what I mean? It's old van. So just trying to get that back up. But, I'm starting to think about doing just Walk and Roll as a channel, right? So like doing these
Okay.
things, like,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
hell
into
yeah.
maybe doing podcasts or whatever with other people, with some of the I've
Hell
been
fucking
talking
yeah.
about this with some of my chef buddies, and like, man, I come in, interview them, and maybe we talk about what got
Mm-hmm.
us into food, and we create a dish that I could do for Walk and Roll based on like their main dish. So, for example, like, whatever hopscotch's special is or what they're known for, I'll interview them, talk about the dish, and see if I can't make like an egg roll version of it. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yo, that's
Yeah,
creative.
yeah. So,
That's more. And bro, man, with the little information that I have in podcasting, let me know, dog. I'll be more than happy to
yeah,
help you, what programs to use and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'll be more than
Bet,
glad
bet, bet.
to help you and shoot you towards the right direction. I usually I have a co-host with me sometimes. His name is
Hmm.
Carlos too. But he's not. His brother actually came back from the army today. So
Wasn't
just
available.
spending time. So big shout out,
Word.
yes, big shout out to Carlos and his
Yeah,
brother
yeah,
Jordan for thank you for your service.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, look,
but we're definitely gonna stay in touch,
yeah, for
100%.
sure, for sure. Look forward to it, man. Man, like, thank you for
Likewise,
just
hell yeah.
giving a platform and actually having the balls to get out there and just do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Thank you.
there's a lot of people
Yeah,
that just kind of stay stagnant and hope and dream, and you out there, you doing it. You know what I mean? So,
thank
shout
you.
out to you, salute to
Much
you,
love,
bro.
man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, yeah.
No problem, man. Well, everybody, y'all be easy. John, don't hang up yet. I gotta do something real quick before you hang up.